and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you are sick, as I am, of seeing all of these decks in standard, just the same stale format, day in, day out, maybe you're like me. Maybe it's time to take a turn, make a little change, switch to historic. You don't have wild cards? You don't have gold? You don't have gems? Well, fear not, because the answer to all of the problems lies right here in Izzet Blitz. Now this specific deck type is budget only, meaning it's going to have only commons and uncommon cards. So as you see fit, and if you have the wild cards to spare, obviously make the better changes. But I'm going to be honest with you, it's not even necessary. At this point, as many matches as I've played, the win-loss ratio, the uncommons and commons get the job done. So without further ado, let's jump into Izzet Blitz Budget Historic. Alright, so before we actually get into the cards, I just wanted to show you all the actual details of the deck. So we're running 15 creatures, 16 instants, 8 sorceries, and 21 lands. So the average CMC is 1.6, so you're going to be able to play multiple spells on each of your turns and overwhelm your opponent rather quickly. Alright, so we'll go ahead and break down each card, starting with Symmetry Sage for 1 blue. For a 0/3 flying magecraft with whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, target creature you control has base power 3 until end of turn. This is super convenient and it goes very well with the rest of the deck and the creature base because Gitu Lava Runner, Umara Mystic, and Sprite Dragon all have 1 power. So all of their abilities also get buffed off of Symmetry Sages, giving them base power of 3. Then we can go ahead and jump into our 1 mana drop, instant speed. Also can be used as like combat tricks throughout the deck, which is mostly what they're used for, but you can also instep them if you need. But so we have Opt for 1 blue, scry 1, draw a card. Infuriate for 1 red, target creature gets +3/+2 until end of turn. Play with Fire for 1 red. Does 2 damage to any target. If it's a player dealt damage this way, you can scry 1. So if you're feeling a little froggy and you need to know what's coming, or you need to set up your draw step, maybe you're lacking land, maybe you're lacking spells, creatures, whatever may have you, you can put one of these on opponent's face at end step, set yourself up. So moving on to the other creatures. So you have Gitu Lava Runner for 1 red. As long as there are 2 or more instant and or sorcery cards in your graveyard, he gets +1/+0 and haste. You have Sprite Dragon, which 1 red, 1 blue for a 1/1 flying haste. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a +1/+1 counter on Sprite Dragon. And then finally, you have Umara Mystic for 1 colorless, 1 blue, 1 red for a 1/3 flying haste. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, he gets +2/+0 until end of turn. So obviously, all the creatures are super reliant on you casting your spells, typically during combat step and actual attack phase, so they can get their buffs and do the necessary damage. So on top of our buff spells, our instant speeds that we've already seen, we also run plenty of burn with 2 copies of Play with Fire, 3 lightning strikes, 4 static discharges, and 4 wizard's lightning. So all of these are super great for targeting opponent's face, targeting opponent's creatures, trying to clear the board to be able to swing, get some attacks through, whatever may have you. And then again, Play with Fire can just set yourself up. Now, one of the cards I have a love-hate relationship with is Static Discharge for 1 colorless and 1 red for sorcery with starting intensity of 3. It deals damage equal to its intensity to any target, and then you perpetually increase its intensity and the intensity of all cards with the same name in your graveyard, hand, and library by 1. Meaning every time that you cast it, all the other copies go up by 1. So you cast it, goes up to 4. Again, goes up to 5, and so on. The reason I say that I have a love-hate relationship with this is because it's at sorcery speed. However, I love it because the amount of damage that it can just do to opponent is insane. And it's any target, so planeswalkers, creatures, opponent, whatever may have you. But the damage definitely stacks up with it. And for the other burn, obviously Play with Fire, I've already shown that. Lightning Strike, 1 colorless, 1 red, 3 damage to any target, very solid instant speed. And then Wizard's Lightning, which is my favorite burn spell in the deck, for 2 colorless and a red at instant speed. It costs 2 less to cast if you control a wizard, which conveniently enough, 11 of the 15 creatures in the deck are all wizards, so you almost always have one. It does 3 damage to any target, so you get a lightning bolt, basically. And then, to finish her off, Reckless Charge for 1 red at sorcery speed. Yes, sorcery, you play it pre-combat, main phase, whatever, doesn't matter. You're giving a creature +3/+0 and haste till end of turn, and you can flash it back later on. So basically the whole idea of the deck, you get you a 1-drop, turn 2, buff it or play a 2-drop, turn 3, you turn the creatures, you play a buff spell or a burn spell, the creatures get bigger, you do a lot of damage. Turn 3, they're on defense and you're still throwing lightning bolts and play with fires, static discharges, everything to keep damage coming over the top or get rid of their creatures. You're keeping it coming. It's non-stop, and then by the time you run out of cards, they run out of life points, and then you win the game. So there you have it, guys. It's very short, sweet, simple, to the point. All commons, uncommons. This deck has been very, very good to me, and it's honestly been such a relief to just not play the same toxic and stale standard format that I have been faced with, and all of you too, the past month or so, I would say. Just waiting for a new set to come out, so if you're looking for something to do, I highly recommend just giving Historic a go. Use your common and uncommon wild cards, I'm sure you have plenty, and see how you do. Alright guys, cheers, thanks for watching, and if you like the video, please drop a like, subscribe,